I couldn't holler with the mic up to my face because I did that one time at a food show. I used to stand up in the chair, holler, "See, we got bacon." You know, that's how I would get them to come to the place we're serving bacon. Aside from the smell, that was one way you could stand our product, our brand out in this big crowd. And most people kind of thought I was crazy, and I am a little bit. But that kind of attitude towards attention, I think, is very important for anybody that wants to do business. Now, since we've got such a large crowd, I want everybody to know I do conversation way better than I do preaching, okay? So I think we're all living a life of having or being required. Okay, stop. Let me just tell you our story real quick. You're going to see this one slide. That's going to be the only slide I put up there the whole time. And it is shamelessly promoting our podcast, which is all about where your food comes from through the eyes of our consumers, our customers, our vendors that support our business, our employees, and our peers, our competitors, those people. So we're telling that story in a way that I hope anybody that listens can now understand very clearly and intricately what Peterson's Farms is all about. Full disclosure, we are a real meat company, so we do raise animals. We go through all of that process to provide what I think is really nutritious quality food. Although I love the conversation. It's kind of funny. I have a little reminder on my phone. It pops up every day, and it says, go to a vegetarian conference. Because the fact is, I have to. That group of people is very important to me because they have a perspective I don't have, right? And if I don't bother understanding that, and I promise we'll get to sales and marketing here in a minute, but I wanted to give y'all just a chance. I want you to be comfortable with me. Look, seriously, I want this to be a conversation. I'm really tempted to jump off here and just come sit at a table. Let's all just get around a couple tables and talk. What's going on in your business? Is your sales booming? Are they having a hard time? We just went through a crazy pandemic or a crazy restructuring of everybody's thought process about business. How's it going to work? Is it going to survive? What's going to happen to the restaurants? Are they going to come back? That kind of stuff that we could talk about right now. That's why I was almost late to be here. I was around a table in there at lunch talking to some people that the conversation was exciting. And it was a money guy who was talking about how they're going to use blockchain to restructure software licenses and that kind of thing. Internet guy, and then some other people that were sending mostly plant-based food direct to consumer. It was just a beautiful conversation. That is what I hope we can have here. So, in short, let's just explore the truth. I believe sales and marketing cannot live separately in your food business, probably any business. Raise your hand if you think sales and marketing have ever lived separately. Do you think sales are important for your business? Not one. I got a few hands. Okay, cool. Look, I know I've sat out there before. This damn guy keeps asking me to raise my hand, and I'm tired. I don't care really that much about what he's saying. He's got that twangy accent. Does he even really know what he's talking about? All I can say is I've been doing it for 20 years. That's me and my best friend since kindergarten who have started this business, or at least became a part of it back in 2020. Not 2020, but 2000. 2001 it was. I lose track. I get nervous because I'm like, damn, these people are spending 30 minutes of time with me, and they may think that was a waste of time, and I don't want that to happen. I want your 30 minutes of time with me to be like, okay, cool, I'm thinking about my business in a little different way. So I was always kind of the guy that would get up at the food show, holler, hey, we got bacon, and people would come by there. Then, so what is the sales function, right? Sales to me is converting this opportunity. It's closing the opportunity that most likely marketing has brought to the table, right? So you're getting to learn the story of Peterson's, in my particular case, or you're getting to hear about what we do, and it makes you interested. It thinks for just a second, wow, that bacon smells good, or that guy's interesting. I'm going to pause here for a second. So that's what marketing does. Sales then takes that opportunity and converts it into a PO, a sale. Those people are taking the product home. Now, a lot of times you'll hear, oh, that's the VP of sales, and oh, that's the VP of marketing. And they're kind of housed in these silos, or they at least were at Peterson's for a short amount of time, till we realized those two things have to go in tangent, especially right now. We're now sending a marketing person with our salespeople on every call to a potential customer, because those customers are now very interested in how are we going to use digital marketing to drive sales and revenue in their stores? How are we going to use digital marketing to make sure our brand is so strong that people out in the greater market are coming and asking for it and looking for it? So if I don't have a salesperson and a marketing, and look, some people can have both of those skill sets. Let's be honest. Mine is more sales. I'm more like, I want to have the conversation. I want to talk. Hey, give me the PO. That's what I want. But we've got to have that marketing, storytelling, transparency. This podcast I've got up here is just totally calling your name constantly. If you listen to podcasts, go listen to that so it can tell you a little bit about what we do, how we do it. Because without that transparency, without that conversation, how are you ever going to trust what I say? I mean, even Joe, which I think, man, I really appreciated your presentation, but I have a hard time a little bit sometimes trusting the numbers, right? I mean, I just don't know you well enough. Where did the numbers come from? It's always, we're all a little bit skeptical of media. I mean, I say we all. See, there we go. I'm kind of putting words in your mouth. I'm personally skeptical of the media because a lot of times I think, oh man, is that story true? Or are those numbers true? If you Google it this way, you can find the exact opposite. Though I loved Joe's presentation because everything he said, since I was standing there watching the guy, he's telling his story about how it changed his life, it saved his health. Man, that made me want to go vegetarian. And I never even thought about it before, ever. And he was mentioning mushroom bacon. Can I get that recipe? Really? Because we need to put that product out. It's just this conversation, right? Sales and marketing cannot be separate in your business. If you don't think you need sales, you probably don't need to be in here listening to this. Sales drives everything. Even if the government totally funds your business. All those people paying taxes that give the government money, they need sales. Sales is just the driver for everything in our economy. We have to go build those sales. We have to sell ourselves. We have to sell our brands. The marketing that comes right along beside that. I hope everybody just takes back a little bit of something from this conversation that says, okay, cool. Are we thinking about that the right way? Are we plugging those two realities together? And oops, sorry. I think this pacing across the stage is probably a problem for the cameraman too. But I just don't seem to ever stop. Okay, so there you go. I beg you to think about your business in a way that you can grow. If you're not growing, you're dying. So think about that. Think about the people in your team, on your teams. The very first presenter today was really good. Bilal, I think was his name. He's talking about inspiring his team, how he does that, how he uses those people way smarter than him and way better than him to accomplish great things. I think we all have to be held to that kind of standard. Truth is, the people at Peterson's kick my tail all over the place. They just are a little bit scared of being embarrassed. I'm not. I mean, the fact is, I love my life. I'm selling a product I believe in, and I enjoy sharing that with people. So if everybody walked out of here, went straight to the blackjack table and said, damn, that cowboy is an idiot, I wouldn't care. It's okay. You're totally welcome to your opinion. So that's why I'm up here and not somebody else at Peterson's. They all work really hard and do a great job. Does anybody feel like there's something we can have a conversation about? What's hard in your business right now with sales, with marketing? Yes, sir.
I would love to hear about how at Peterson's how you create sales and marketing beyond simply having a salesperson and marketing person doing everything.
I so appreciate that question. because my wife's going to appreciate it. She is our VP of marketing. She's sitting here, and that's one way we do it really good is we live in the same household. So we're talking about sales and marketing all the time. It just worked out that way. But for maybe you don't have a husband and wife team to do that. The other ways we drive that is leadership. It's talking about that to the team, incentivizing the team. Look, salespeople are really easy to incentivize. POs, turns money, turns incentives, turns, oh, yay, I get to make more money. Well, the truth is today, money's not always the incentive, right? Sometimes it is feeling a part of a bigger thing. Marketing has a tougher time monetizing every little piece of it and saying, okay, cool. You can do it a little bit easier in an e-commerce setting. Maybe you run a digital ad somewhere. You saw exactly. And it also depends on how you structure it. Like, we've pretty much got away from even saying it's a different thing. It's sales and marketing. Look, we're all on the same team. We all have to talk. The marketing guy is going with the salesperson so they can talk to the person in the marketing department of the potential customer, that they have the same lingo. Like, we were talking about this podcasting, and I always ask everybody, do you listen to podcasts? If you listen to podcasts, this just for fun, I'm curious, raise your hand. I listen to a lot of them. And a lot of people that don't do podcasts, or a lot of people that host podcasts or put podcasts out there, they don't spend a lot of time listening to other podcasts, which I think probably gets my brain confused because I listen to so many of them. But when you're kind of in that group of podcasting people, he was talking about how they quit monetizing their podcast. And I was like, well, I never monetize mine. I mean, dang, you can do that. The money in the podcast for me is the transparency. It's the conversation. It's the chance for people to understand who Peterson's is. I want to keep asking if I didn't help.
On that same note, does Peterson do any sort of a blog or any sort of written content, or is the podcast based on their blog?
We do blogs. We do recipe blogs. We'll put transcripts together for each podcast. So we're trying to target SEO-rich content, so we're able to drive organic traffic to our brand and to what we're doing. I am not a good writer. Like, I just do better talking, so I lean towards podcasting. I do better listening. But the facts are, there's a lot of people that do better reading. There's a good chance half of you in here wish I was flipping through some slides so you could take pictures of them and then take that home and have those as notes. I'm lazy. I didn't want to do slides. I just want to talk. I just want to have this conversation, give you guys we're going to see each other for the next 2 days. And I'm not going to be hard to find. You can see me easy. If you disagree with me completely, I would so love to hear that, because how else will I get educated? And I know this for a fact. I don't know everything there is to know. At like 23, I think I did. But as soon as I hit 40, I realized I really don't know anything. So I'm actually out chasing information all the time. And that team behind me is really the most important thing, of people that know sales and they work sales and they get leads, and people that know marketing. They put a pretty picture together. They know how to get that SEO up there high, so we're getting the organic search. I don't know. Let's see. Have I got a story to tell? Is this 18 minutes? I still have 18 minutes. These people's attention? Sweet. Oh, good. I love it. More questions. That makes it easy on me. Totally. It is two different worlds and very the same. Like, I look at every buyer in a B2C relationship as a potential customer. So they're going to if they love our story, they love our product, they're going to go pick it up off the shelf and buy it and take it home to their family. So it makes that, the B2C takes a little more understanding for what those other businesses are going through, right? Like they need margins. We've got to have these kind of conversations. The story told to them has to resonate with their consumer base, and a lot of times they don't even know that, right? We put out no sugar bacon. We were the first nationally distributed bacon to take sugar out of the ingredient statement. Raise your hand if you're familiar with Whole30. Have you ever heard of Whole30? Okay, so we were one of the first brands to get involved with Whole30, and that was a huge boom to our business. That's one way you can take marketing and really leverage it through a partnership with somebody like that. I would say that's worked really well for us. Finding a community to be a part of that you resonate with, they really trust in what you're doing. Okay, so that's kind of B2B. Find that community that's out there that's easy to show the B2B potential customer, current customer, hey, these things we're doing really resonate with this group of people, and it will turn into sales for you. Now, direct to consumer, that's the podcast. That's me doing these things. That is, how are we representing our products, our brand on our website, in any place you can find it. YouTube. Look, if you're not on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and there's probably 10 of them I don't know that I should be on. I'm kind of slow. Like, I never did social media for fun. I've only ever done it for business. I wanted to be in the conversation. I knew there's conversations being had out there. We need to have. If you want to see what my social media looks like, you should go to thecowboyperspective.com. Not .com. Well, yeah, .com. There's a .com, but there's really Instagram, The Cowboy Perspective. Thecowboyperspective.com is my personal podcast where I just talk about being raised on a ranch, crawling into my mom and dad's bedroom late at night, so when dad got up, he'd step on me and take me working with him. Like, that was how I was raised. We just worked with animals. I just have a really unique, mostly different than a lot of other people, perspective on animals and how that whole thing works. And I've worked really hard to understand that is just a truth. Like, how many people are going to have my exact experience? Not many. I don't know what skateboarding parks are like, right? I mean, I just didn't do that kind of thing as a kid, so I have to learn from that group of people what their experience is, what they expect. That's where their opinions come from. So the direct-to-consumer piece, I ramble, and I do apologize for that. It's just the story, the transparency. Have you ever heard of a guy named Marcus Sheridan? He wrote a book called They Ask, You Answer, and I live by that mantra. If somebody asks our brand, our company, a question about our products, we answer it straight up. How do you develop your pricing? Well, here's how it looks. We need to put it on our website. We haven't done that. Cody doesn't exactly agree with my thoughts on that. If you're watching, Cody, we're going to have to put the pricing on the website. But it's no big secret. That's not our advantage, our pricing model. We need them, and we have to ask for a profit. Everybody in here knows. You don't stay in business if you don't ask for a profit. We don't want to take an egregious profit, but we need to make some money. So they ask, you answer. Marcus Sheridan, go look it up. I'll plug his book. He's a great guy. I had him on the Cowboy Perspective podcast. He talks about parenting and a lot of other things that really align with business and sales and marketing. Like, if you don't think you have to sell and market to your kid, if you have a kid, we got to talk, because I need to learn how to not do that. Yes, sir.
Where are some of the places that you have struggled between sales and their needs and marketing? Where are some places you found disagreement? How to solve those aside from what I'm teaching you?
Sure. I guess where you end up, we have the biggest rub is marketing may structure a content calendar to support and drive sales on a certain subset of items. Sales doesn't know about that. Then, all of a sudden, now inventory doesn't know about that. So you've got a problem there. So you miss some communication about those things. Like, what are we promoting? Okay, so the sales guy says, okay, we're going to promote with Whole Foods all the bacons. Marketing never hears about it, never says a word about it on social, never says a word about it any other place, and you totally miss that opportunity to squeeze all the juice out of your spend. That's what we've found. And solving that problem is a work in progress. I mean, we're still trying to do that. It's just communication, and it's humans. And humans, they're just not like a plug and play every single time, deliver your expectation. So I would say for your business, that's kind of the point of this conversation we're having is think about that. You know, you're probably feeling some of those same pains. Get these people talking, facilitate it, incentivize them to talk, show them how that progress, that actual win, does so much good for the company. Yes, sir. I feel like I'm an auctioneer. Yes, sir. That's what we did. I mean, we are a small company. We were a small company. So when we started working there, we didn't even know what marketing was. Our website was healthypork.com. Okay, that's not really the most marketable website if you really want to sell bacon, sausage, ham, ground beef, other things, right? So grassroots, man. And I would say being small without the budget gives you a great story to tell. It puts you at an advantage. We use that story. I'm not sure Hormel or Smithfield or Tyson or those guys like me standing at this conference talking to y'all, and they're not here. I'm a small guy. I've been there. I've worked with no budget. I mean, putting up a Facebook page is free. Writing those blogs, you're going to have to pay somebody or spend your own time to do it, but it's not a real draw on your team or your resources. I think social media is so easy to leverage. It's not as easy as it was 10 years ago. It's more expensive for an ad there, but you'll probably find Twitch, where these kids are watching people play video games. There's a cool place to go think about putting some funds or spend a little time learning that. See, I've not spent enough time, but I know there's an opportunity similar to what Facebook was 10 years ago, or Instagram, YouTube. Now, there's still lots of meat on the bone within those platforms, but as a small guy without much money, I would recommend what we did was just grassroots. Went to every food show I could go to. Got in every chair and hollered, "Suey, we got bacon." Every single hand I shook was a potential person that might buy bacon and tell somebody else about it. And you just have to, you may not can go just Zoom fast. It's just grind it out. Then you'll hit a thing and it'll just take off, and then you'll be wondering like, uh-oh, how do we spend enough money? This is a great insight from your question. There's no sugar bacon. We were the only company doing no sugar bacon. Most of our B2B customers had no clue that it was going to be what it would be. We had, the day they started buying that from us, we were losing. We had lost our advantage because every buyer was telling every competitor of ours, start making no sugar bacon. This is a hot thing. So guess what? Pretty quick, every competitor of ours is making no sugar bacon. We lost. We did not spend even close to enough money on marketing during that time in our company's path. We could have probably tripled our results from having that one advantage. And will you ever find one? I don't know. I mean, I don't know that we'll ever find that specific thing that hit the market just like that. And I was too ignorant to understand what I had, and we just didn't spend enough money on marketing. So if you find that you're just really hitting the nerve, realize real quick, somebody's going to find out I'm doing this and come for me quick. So put all the marketing efforts you can possibly put behind that at that moment, because capitalism is a great thing. They are coming. Soon as there's somebody getting a, margin, a sales revenue, they will be coming, and it's not bad, it's just true. And that's a real experience of mine I'm sharing with you. When you have that special thing, leverage it, sell it as much as you can, because you better start thinking about the next one pretty quick, because that advantage is gone. 5 more minutes. did I tell y'all about the time I was out here in California? So we used to do Whole Foods. I flew out to California. I worked these stores in L.A. I'm standing there cooking bacon, and people are walking by. Hey, I love your costume, man. Thanks for wearing that. And I was just like, you bet, man. Come back. I'll be here tomorrow. We'll be selling bacon again. This hat. Find a unique thing about you, your business, your brand, anything, and really embrace it. The unique thing about me just happened to be lucky. I wear a hat and I'm real comfortable in them. This is my attire. I mean, I really dressed up putting this jacket on today. If you look at my boots, at the bottom of them, there's probably some cow poop down there. I live on the ranch, on the farm. It's what I do. So it was just a nice ancillary benefit that made me and Cody really recognizable. So we could be in a lot of places. We're about the same height. We look a lot alike. People thought I was like Magic Man and him too. So they'd come up to me, hey, Cody, I met you at the last food show. Oh, yeah, cool. I know that guy, but I'm actually Neil. And that was just a thing that I want you to think about in your business. Don't go start wearing a hat. It's got to be authentic to you, right? It can't be just a made-up gimmick. I mean, I am a little bit of a made-up gimmick because I do holler and I do some things to accentuate my truth. And I know you'll have success if you do that too, because people really want to relate to some genuine, truthful brand. That's what I want to buy from. That's why I want to spend my money on, is somebody I trust and I relate to in some way. How about that? I see some head shaking here. You guys got some questions? What do y'all do? No, sorry, I'm just joking. Oh, there you go. See, Texans, we hang together. If you would, my name's Neil Dudley. I'm on LinkedIn. Follow me there. If you happen to listen to the podcast, like it, love it, hate it, I'd love to know. Just shoot me a quick note. Man, I really got no value. I quit listening after the first 5 minutes. Or I found that interesting. I learned something that I wouldn't have learned otherwise. And that's all. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad I got the right after lunch crowd, because I can get up here and walk around and holler and do all the fun stuff. Sales and marketing is important. Think about it. Deploy it. You'll have success.